In the top left for TvZ Gaming, it is Reynor. In the bottom right, we have TvZ Gaming Spirits. Teammates. Team kill. So those who do not know, we have been in the process of trying to sell the house as we prepare to move into a new house. But the new house isn't built yet, so we did sell this house, and we do have a move-out date. Like, we have to move out by a certain day. And currently I'm looking at long stay options, like, you know, Verbo and Airbnb and stuff. So that'll be fun. Hopefully everything works out well. Reynor's actually gonna go for a pool first, which I can't, you know, 100% say why. You know, initially you could talk about how it defends against an early Rax. Spirit does those occasionally. You could also talk about actually just looking to disrupt the Terran player. There was a time. So, yeah, there was a time where Zergs were... I mean, I feel like for about a week, there was even more pool firsts. It was a very odd time. And maybe it was off the back of a lot of really harsh proxy Raxes, but I don't actually remember that. I think what it was combining with was that also the Roach Ravager follow-up was really popular too. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So that was a weird time. But that's not what this is. It's not what this is. It's just the spawning pool first. But it is 6 lings, so really the goal here to interrupt spirits. And it is going to interrupt him. There's no doubt about it. When you get 6 lings, unless the Reaper finds the lings on the way, which happens if you SCV scout, but many pro players do not SCV scout here in this matchup, then the lings are gonna even potentially cancel the command center. Even if you get a Marine after, one Marine doesn't beat 6 lings, right? And the Reaper is all the way across the map, and it can go really topsy-turvy. For the pros, you basically should never lose the command center here. Oh my god, you're also not supposed to lose the Reaper, though. Okay. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh geez. Alright, so Spirit, you know, he's not gonna add the reactor. He's gonna go right into a second Marine. I mean, you basically need 1 Marine for every 2 lings. Alright? 1 Zealot for every 4 lings. Like, the math is supposed to work that way. So, you know, if you gotta have some other stuff. Okay, so the SCVs have to come down. Spirit is handling this gracefully. It sucks about the Reaper, but that's gonna happen. Reynor probably even chuckling to himself when that happens, but it's a high-risk, high-reward strategy, because if the Reaper gets controlled, then the Reaper actually deals with this no problem. Absolutely no problem. And that's the downside. So right now, Spirit, you know, he's worried about the SCVs not mining. He's worried about the delayed add-ons, making this build very weird. And he might be worrying about, well, being scouted as well. A little bit, but that's probably not the biggest worry. You know, the bigger worry is, am I going to be attacked afterwards? Which is becoming increasingly clear that no, you are not. There's no Roach follow-up here. But that would all be kind of the sucky thing about having this happen in such a fashion. Now, the one good thing is that the Ling never got far enough back to see the command center form, which Spirit did plant, I believe, before that last Ling died. So, technically, yeah, Reynor doesn't know it's 3cc. And there's no Overlord around to see that very easy either. It is 3cc. Going into a Liberator initially, but still on that tech lab, though. So are we going to have a fusion core added? No, Spirit doesn't have near enough gas. No way. Oh, he might be going into Raven afterwards, actually. Which would make sense. I mean, that's what people suspected would happen when the Raven was changed. So that's what I'm suspecting. It's not the first time a Raven has been built in TvZ. Oh no, he just added it. Okay, he just... Alright, I looked into that tech lab way more than I should have. He might have also had it on there in case he did see roaches, and he could have canceled and went to an emergency Banshee. Yeah, I could see. I'm not exactly sure about the timing and how that really works, but I could see that being a possibility. I was gonna say the Raven had it's every so often been experimented with even before this patch. You know, Special I would say even kind of recently was doing a decent amount of Raven builds with Hellions, but no, it just was the Liberator. That's fine too. And into Bio we go. Queen's totally prepared for this, however, they just were here. I don't know why. Did he see that Liberator? They just were there. They just were that was just really nice game sense, I guess. Okay, well, can't deny that. Kid's got good game sense. Also, important thing to note is that we do have this being the 4th base, so I think we're going to still see some flip-flop on that from Zerg players before really settling in on what they want the 3rd and the 4th. They are going for the 4th here. Now, this is, again, very interesting. I find Grisfon to be at least a very attempted to be fair map where it kind of tries to balance strength and weaknesses for every single race, so I like it. I like talking about it. But here's where tanks would be quite abusive. So they would shoot down these drones. And instead of getting a surrounds across this entire area is definitely not impossible. It'd be kind of difficult to do. And the direction of the attack is still very direct from the Terran's base. And as I pointed out before, the Terran with a simple sort of wall off here really has a more shared point of defense than a lot of other maps that are out there. So you can kind of rally and defend to a certain extent, which is very good for Terrans. So I would say that's still kind of scary, but a lot of Terrans are still going immediately into Widow Mines unless given a reason not to, which is basically, are they under attack? Are they under roach pressure? Is the person going roaches? And then they might just go for tanks, right? But if you can, then you want to go right into those Widow Mines. And then Widow Mines don't really abuse the situation nearly as much. I mean, they still kind of can, but it's not really the point of Widow Mines to directly assault something. They push, they pull out, they push, they pull out, they join up within their crew, do a wombo combo attack, because Zerg barely defends, okay, split up again, go in, go out, whatever. So it's just not as abusive. But abuse does not necessarily have to be in the game for this push to still do its job. Did grab a queen, couple of Widow Mine shots, and the Liberator got back into that main base, so killed a couple of the drones. Not bad. Not bad, but Reynor is going to be able to repel this. He's already at 78 drones. About 20 seconds away from having that 1-1, however, where Spirits is already done. Now he's collected everything together, Hellions included, which adds a little bit of trickiness to how to take the engagement. Liberator was dealt with, so Reynor can now focus up entirely on the front lines. And he did actually want to squeeze in a couple more drones. Oh, more than a couple more drones. This seems a little greedy. I don't know. That army supply is not comforting. Banelings have got to get some decent connections, but the Hellbats have already soaked up so many of them. Okay, thanks, Widow Mine, for killing some Marines. But look at all the Marines that are left over on the right side. 3 Banelings are left. They're going to be target fired down. Spirit. Is this Clem? Is he actually hiding under a new name, or is Spirit now the new Clem? Spirit just demolished Reynor there. That was, I mean, one part cool. Cool micro man. Very cool. And another part, Reynor, I think, being just a little greedy, man. Did he really have to add on? I think that was a total of 8 more drones. Or maybe 7, but it just was... Either way, I mean, yes, to answer anyone, you know, before they're like, well, Zerg has to have a certain drone count. Yeah, I know, but was that really the time to do it? Was that really such a successful pushback? I don't know. It was... maybe not. And as such, Reynor has to give up that base. He does still have 4 base setup. This 5th came down as the attack was also ongoing. But Reynor is now having some larva issues, not having full 5 bases being injected and no macro hatchery, which Dark is just like, I don't care if the meta right now is not to go macro hatcheries. He just gets 2 of them. Maybe Reynor can go ahead and get a macro hatch, but also if he gets it, it's not exactly going to be useful soon. But since he's banking 1,000 minerals, it might still be worth it. Building Hydras kind of helps you spend that mineral count, right? It helps you make it look a little bit better if your injects are getting a little bit wonky, but still not that much. And Reynor is struggling now with the multitasking going on. Spirit, I think, playing a really great TvZ. I think he is going to struggle a little bit more after having hit that point. That was still rather direct. Not so much, right? We have this little bit of a curve here, but now you have to go really far to the left and really far to the right to actually start hitting these bases. So it's not going to snowball as badly as if this had turned into sieging up on here, and then this base is just like, you can't really defend that. So maybe Reynor can take this back, and well, cleaning up one side of the attack is already a great way to start. A little bit of a comeback. You know, I'm not going to say this is the biggest, but Spirit, I feel like theoretically is supposed to be the one to clean this up to get that game 1 point, and a couple more Banelings connecting, and suddenly it'll be Reynor favored once again. Spirit does have a 4th base and is building a 5th. His 2-2 is going to finish, and Reynor really held off on getting that 2-2. He's affording so many extra Banelings, so many Hydras. He was running around. The gas at some points, you know, were getting quite low. And so that 2-2 was fairly late. Starting to really get a handle on the situation, though. Is dealing with the drops, or is he? I think Spirit noticing the upgrade problem. It's going to force a lot more Lings to have to be moved up to the high grounds, perhaps giving an opportunity to go on the left side. And I love the addition of the tanks. I really do. I mean, I feel like all of us casuals have been saying, you know, late game, why don't we just mix both, and then there's been surprisingly not a lot of it. But I think especially even in the kind of not turtle late game, because people are saying that for turtle late games, when it's still action-packed, I still kind of like the idea of having tanks. The downside is that tanks slow you down. So tanks don't really gel with this whole left, right, push, 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 push. They push, and then they settle, like turtles. All right? But I still think that when a Zerg player is kind of getting into the beats of defending against multitasking Widowmine Marine, and then suddenly you show up with a more anchored tank push, I do think it has, like, it has some potential. But as I've been saying and discussing theories, Spirit's actually been pushed back, so it didn't really work out there. I still like the idea. I'm gonna hold with that, but no, it didn't work there. And Reynor has settled. It was tough, it was scary, but I do believe that the map has helped Reynor do this, and that his 5th base came down when it did. So there really wasn't too bad of a transition period. Looks like Reynor thought there might be a time for him to go on the offensive. He was maybe incorrect about that, or maybe totally on point. He doesn't have to bring too much back to help defend against this. It's not an anchor push, right? There's only so much that needs to be left here to deal with these Marines. It just sucks that you can't chase down these medevacs. Spirit's already on 5 bases, by the way, moving on to a 6th, continuing to dominate those upgrades with 3-3 being about 35% done. Hive has only just started for Reynor. There are still problems for the Zerg from that earlier game, but Reynor did not just completely trip over himself and kill himself, really. He needed to get his footing back and avoid the spikes, and he did that, to, you know, for the most part. 12 drones did just go down to, I don't know, what am I gonna drop? Marine drop? Something. 31 Widowmines have died in this game? Really? It's amazing how fast they go. Wow, really? There's been 31 built in this game? I've just not been tracking. Anyway, Spirit's macro is kind of great here. I mean, his suppression of the Zerg as well. Look at the minimap, and that's not an ideal Zerg minimap right there. But at some point, the pacing is really going to change, and I think we've reached that point. Now it's Reynor going on the offensive. Spirit's defense a little bit odd. I'll say that. The tank being so far forward and the Liberator being right here was odd, but I guess the intent was to make sure Hydras couldn't just sack themselves and deny mining, I guess. I feel like a tank and a Liberator on the high ground would solve that problem more, though. Maybe that was just awkward. Maybe he just kind of like left it there and it was, you know, not worth analyzing. That's not a lot of splash is also my concern, but going up the ramp into a choke against a Terran that is prepared, I do think that's all recipe for Spirit being fine. I just am noticing maybe some of those dead Widowmines preferring to be alive in here right now. It was a little sketch. Also, 3-3 had finished. It just seemed like a big risk for Reynor, who really is not in place to choose to do those risks. If he was banking 5,000, 5,000, he might have pushed the issue, and even then I think that's a bit foolhardy, but he might have. But especially now, he's not even completely recovered. Once he has a 1500 bank and Viper, Ling Bane, Ling Hydra max out, then I think there's a little more playing around. But Spirit, as soon as I thought that he was going to go ahead and just fall back on the turtle idea, he strikes, goes for a double drop, kills a base, gets the hell out of there, and continues to expand on his side of the map. So Spirit playing a very fast game, first of all. Really got to commend him, right? There's a couple of moments where he didn't pick up his Marines fast enough. That happens. But otherwise, he's doing a lot. There's really never a point where he says, oh, thank God I can stop doing stuff, which is obviously not anything a professional Terran's going to say, but kind of looks like sometimes, where you see the Terran basically like, oh, God, thank God. And not this time, man. Spirit did it for a moment. Reynor tried to push in, realized it was a bad idea. Now it's Spirit back on the aggression. Bit of a lopsided, haphazard way of pushing into this position, though, I must say. So I feel like we're still seeing Spirit kind of, oh my God. Oh my God, that was really good. What a mine hit. Holy shit. That just killed so many Banelings. Wow. Drops continuing off the left side are not being super successful. Fortunately for Reynor, that was when all of his Banelings got popped by that single Widow Mine. But hot diggity damn. That was a good Widow Mine hit. Anyways, I think we're still seeing Spirit kind of still figure out to a degree the map. You know, they have been playing on the new maps for, 2+ weeks at this point, actually. The pros were told about it earlier than us. So not in any official capacity. Officially, they've played, what is this, the 3rd or 4th open with the new maps? And then the patches have changed in some of those opens as well. Anyhow. So I'm not saying that they're, just getting AI'd everywhere and they're completely clueless, but I do think we're seeing some issues. So that was just, it's like he realized the high ground here would be really useful, but then still wanted to punish this base. But that's a big jump, right? So a lot of the army was over here and it just was a bit awkward. But moving on. Spirits, especially with that Widow Mine hit, does take a decent enough fight. Still is the bigger bank, still has a wonderful economy, and still has those better upgrades. But the Zerg now does have some spellcasters. Fungals attempt to go down, Blinding Cloud's going down. Snipes, I saw them attempted, did not go through. And even a Parasitic Bomb at the very end, which shouldn't add too much pepper, but Spirit is the one forced to back away. But he also got something else going on, always having more than one thing happen, and the drop to the top right is going to grab another hatchery. And Spirit has made sure to do these little jabs every now and again. That's so Reynor doesn't really fully recover. Reynor actually not... I'm not sure. I wasn't paying full attention. But if Reynor has gone over 1,000 bank, it hasn't been super frequently. Consistent trading going on. 3 hatcheries in total have died. Almost a 10,000 resource benefit here for Spirit, so he's doing pretty well. And again, the expansion process is just going so well on this side of the map. This is a lot because Reynor has not been able to expand himself. Sorry, not expand, but be expansive like a Zerg would want to do, where it feels like they are just choking you at every single point. The creep spread isn't far out. The aggression hasn't stopped from the Terran. So Reynor is trying to respond, attack, defend, and also harass. And that's asking a lot from anyone. Finally finds the opportunity to do so, but is also still going to struggle against this. Another hatchery goes down. This hatchery looks like it's going to go down. That's going to be 2 for 1. If that, the SCVs could technically save this command center. So there's actually just 2 hatcheries killed by Spirit, and Reynor is maybe not going to get anything. Yes, it has been repaired, so it doesn't get anything. Excellent game. I certainly was favoring Reynor. I envisioned a Spirit victory off the back of some type of turtle game, to be honest. It's not that Spirit has ever, I think, really been called slow. Well, I know it's... They meme on his... Anyways. It's not that he's a slow player, but I don't think it's ever really been, like, necessarily his highlight. It's always been, like, he's a good player, but here's where he's, oh my god, really strong. Okay, we just saw a bunch of medevacs pop. That concave against the lurkers was dangerous. Holy shit, that was so close from teetering the other way. And Reynor suddenly having the lead here, but nope, Spirit pushes through. 2 severely weakened medevacs. Severely weakened army overall is going to take down another hatchery, and another one, drop on the right, is cleaned up, and now it's a very, very weak hatchery. And Spirit still has bank, by the way. This is not a desperate last gasp on his deathbed. Now, he is winning. So if he does have to evacuate, it won't be the end of the world. He takes back the top base, that's a planetary. He takes the bottom base, it's a planetary. Still has those better upgrades, of course. And Reynor is up shit creek without a paddle. He is on a 1 1/4 mining bases and just a couple of Marines. Shooty. Kill the hatchery. Oh, Spirit's playing super well. As Reynor looks to take the top side of the map and punish Spirit's base. Spirit just takes the bottom side. And, by the way, also defends the top side. Oh my god, the parasitic bomb, though. Oh my god, the parasitic bomb. Oh, stop. Okay. Reynor is trying to get into a very cost-efficient type of army. You know, Ling, Lurker, Viper, Spellcaster, just generally, right? And it technically is, but it is also what a higher ghost count is particularly good against. So it can actually sometimes, it is often scarier for a late game Terran preparing to deal with Lurkers, Ultras, Broodlords to go up against Massling, Baneling, Hydra. They get overwhelmed. There's a dance, but I'm just trying to say that Spirit's actually comfortable against this. And it's probably not going to take a super great resource trade. Ghosts were a little late to that snipe. Most of the front army was killed before the ghosts turned around and got those snipes in. So that was about as good as Reynor could hope for. All the ghosts going down. Liberators, I guess, will eventually die, although there's not much that actually kills them. So Parasitic Bomb over a long period of time it is.
Resubscription received.
But then we have another attack and another attack and another attack. GG, Spirits grabbing a very impressive 1-0 lead against Reynor. That was great. That was great. Octazuka, thank you for the 31 months. Reynor generally wins against Spirit. I don't think it's going to be a shock to anyone, but might not remember. I certainly did not. That Spirit actually won against Reynor in the Homestory Cup 2-0. And that was a couple of months ago, and then Reynor went on to win the entire thing anyways. But yeah. Looks like Spirit actually has more than a decent chance to win this, cause an upset. As the first game is already won and done with some great macro. And this game is going to be a 2-Rex. Bottom left, Reynor. Top right, but not all top rights. It is Spirit going for 3-Rex. Dun dun dun. 1-2 punch, knock him out of the bracket. Another upset, as Reynor did lose against Hero Marine, which, you know, upset's a very strong word for that, but I'd still say it was. In the semifinals, losing out against some battle mech. This time around, losing against some straight up good play on the new patch that is supposed to be super favored towards Zerg. To stoke the fires. ZombieGrub, I thought you didn't have a strong opinion. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Who knows? I do have an opinion that stoking the fire can be fun, so. It's gonna go both ways, guys. Zerg's gonna win and be like, wow, Zerg really is overpowered. Terran's gonna win against Zerg and be like, well, armchair Redditors, wrong again. What a surprise. 3-Rex is on the way, guys. We are waiting for the Marines to show up, potentially win this game. Reynor has not scouted it. He's not gone for pull first this game. It's gonna be the more typical setup, and Zergs do defend in this typical setup. But it could be tricky. It could be very tricky. Overlord's gonna see the first Marine, couple of SCVs. Bunkers, plural, will eventually be put down. Get him! Get that Spine Crawler! Get him, SCV! No, actually, just gonna keep it at 1 bunker. I mean, you do have to skip a Marine to get a 2nd bunker, so it's definitely a choice. The Marines are great, and if this 1 bunker could actually get up, that'd be even better. We got 2 extra SCVs, man. Seems likely. Still kind of a healthy bunker. SCV. I think this one's gonna complete it. Nope. Wait, no, the drones. This round. Ooh. Nicely set up for the surround. The bunker finishes, but in the range of the spine crawler. Who cares about that? Those Marines weren't supposed to get surrounded. And Reynor showcasing some nice defense against the 3 racks. Now, it is a 3 rack, so it has been very dedicated to, guys. So, if it was 2 racks and 7 drones were killed, the spine crawler had to be made, all that lost modding time, it's actually fair to say that the Terran might even be, like, ahead. But with the 3 racks, you are quite late to anything else. You're later to your command center, obviously, but you're also very much later to your gases and factory. In this case, Spirit didn't even get gases, so he went ahead and banked minerals, went for a command center on location, which seems awfully ballsy. I mean, I guess the anticipated procedure is that Reynor's going to pull off with the gas and not have speed on the way, and that is fair, because that's exactly what's happening. But I would still be terrified about this. You are still going to be lacking something more solid in your defense until your factory is done. So the Marines might be able to be plenty. And in this case, they are. They actually just push past the spine crawler. So Reynor saw that a command center was on the way and might have just assumed, like, yeah, fair enough. I guess you're going to stop attacking me. Not actually correct. And Spirit is still so gas-light. Going into a 3rd command center, the number of Marines holding the line, basically, so that he can be super greedy back at home. And it's like he's getting the best of both worlds. He's getting the best of cheesing and macroing. And Reynor, I think, is kind of screwed. This is bad. The Queen dies. The spine crawler won't be able to help. No surround this time around. And running out of creep as well. That's still plenty of Marines. More drones are going to die. And Spirit's going to have 3 freaking command centers behind this. GG. Wow. Wow. GG's, man. Spirit. Kicking butt. Hero Marine Scaleless only just started? Huh? Did they? Shit. We'll get into a game too.